Hi, welcome. I am PixelPia, and today I'm going to continue my series about video editing in Descript. So let's move right over to my computer. So here we are. I am using a very old video from 2020 here, so that explains the hair color. Today we are going to do some more fun and advanced editing. So I have already split this video up in scenes, as you see up to the left here. I have removed word gaps and filler words, and I am ready to go in and do the fun stuff. If you don't know how to do all that, in my last video, I show you all these steps, and I will have that linked in the description below. So now let's start with the fun. I will start by going to scene 2 here. And what I want to do in this is to change the background. Descript is great when it comes to removing background from your video. All I have to do is to highlight all of this in my transcript, including the little forward slash. I then go over to the right hand side here where we have effects. I click on the plus sign and you see the effects we have built into Descript. We have chroma key, color adjustment, blur, film grain, pixelate, zoom blur, and green screen. I am gonna choose green screen. What this will do is take away my background, and I think it does a relatively good job of removing everything. Now I have just a black background because this is transparent. So my next step is to go up to Files, Images, and search for a classroom image. And I actually want to use this one, which is a blackboard. I click on it and it's downloading and putting it right on top of that screen, as you can see down in the timeline here. This image is a little bit too narrow, so I grab the corners after I have selected the image and drag it out so it fills the whole screen. The writing disappeared on top and I want that to be visible. So I double click on it again, and now by holding my mouse button down, I can move the image within this frame. That looks, I go up above the image and click the little save here. Now there is just one problem. I am hidden behind the image. So I right click on the image and say move backwards. And there you have me again. That was very easy to do. You can also choose to add a video behind you. Now let's take a look at transitions between scenes. The first transition I want to have between scene 1, where I still have the background, and scene 2 here, where the background is removed. So I click on scene 1 and I go over to the right hand side here where it says transitions. When I click on the plus sign, I can choose in or out. In this case, I need an out transition. I'm going out from scene 1. I can choose fade, cross blur, cross zoom, dip to color, directional wipe, and star wipe. In this case, I'm choosing dip to color. I can click the little settings button next to it. I can change my transition from here if I want to. Then we have duration. I can either hover over the time and hold my button on my mouse down and drag it, or I can just double click in it here and put 1.5 seconds. And then we have color. In this case, it's black, and I want it to stay black because my background I choose is almost black. But if I click on the little circle here, I can choose any color I want. So let's take a quick look by putting my marker here in the end of scene 1 and take a look how it looks.
This video.
That works great. Now I want to have another transition from scene 2 to scene 3. So I mark scene 3, transition, and in this case I want an in transition. I'm coming in from scene 2. And this time I'm going to choose a directional. I click the settings. Once again, I do 1.5 seconds. And I can choose my directions, up, down, left, or right. I'm going to choose the right one in this case. So let's see how it looks when I coming out from scene 2 into scene 3.
I can see.
Not bad for a few clicks. Now I want to add images. In this scene, I'm talking about teachers, parents, and students. So I want to add an image for each of them. Let's start by double click on the word teachers. I go up to my files, I go to images, I go to teacher. And let's grab this teacher. It's downloading, and now we're gonna double click and then we're gonna crop this image a little bit. That looks good. We click the check mark for saving. And now I double click and I move her over on this side. That's my teacher. Now I want to do the same for parents and students. If I want, I can add animation to this. I mark them, and under animation here, I can zoom in and pan, zoom in, spin, or create a custom animation. But this picture will just flash on this video segment because it's just a picture for each word. So I'm not adding any animation today.
Purpose.
Now
By
let's
teachers,
take
parents, and students.
That's how easy it was to add pictures. You can also choose GIFs, or you can upload your own files. The last thing I want to do today is to show you how to add some music. So I go down to the last scene here. I double click on it and I go up to files again, go to audio. You can choose music or sound effects. So let's choose something calm. I have one that I already downloaded, so let's drag that in. As you can see, it puts a little note here with the green background when it's chosen. And here we have the audio sound. So let's listen.
The computer. That was my first of 3.
That is a little bit too loud for me for being a background music. So with the music chosen here, I can go in here and click the settings and lower the decibel. I like to have my background music, depending on what song it is, but between 25 and 30 negative decibel, usually. So now I dragged it down to minus 24 decibel, so let's listen again.
That was my first of 3 tutorials about.
Not bad, but we can do more than that. It starts off very slowly, but if we go to the end here of my video, you will hear that since it cut it off, the ending can be very abrupt.
Goodbye.
Let's listen. It sounds like it is cutting off in the middle of a note. So let's put our marker here on the audio file, which is highlighted in blue here. And we are gonna add, by right clicking right there, add a volume keyframe. And you see it added a little white dot right there. And I'm gonna go to the end of the music file and add another volume keyframe. And now I'm going to take the last one and drag it down to the bottom, which means that from this point to the end, the music will slowly go down to silence. So let's listen how that sounds now.
Goodbye.
And that was a little softer of the music. That was a few of the things you can do. There are still much more we can do. But with just a few clicks, we managed to remove background and add a new background. We added some transitions. We added some images, and we could have added animation to them. And we added background music. Of course, you can upload all of this from your computer, music, images, videos that you want to use for these effects. I used everything right here just to show you. In my next video, I'm going to start showing you how you can record your video right here from Descript. If that is something you want to learn, don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell so you get notified on when I upload. Bye!